Hi there. My name is Beth Green, otherwise known as Granny Rocks.
And my name is James Maynard, otherwise known as Sweet Baby James.
And tonight I'm going to be talking about Memorial Day. Are you proud of your country now? But before we get into that topic, I'd like to introduce you to Sweet Baby James, who's going to introduce our show.
Welcome to Granny Rocks, where we have the opportunity to experience Granny's wit, her wisdom, and her uncommon sense. Every Monday and Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. Pacific. So without further ado, here's Granny.
Thank you. So, can you refresh, James? All right. So, I don't know really what I'm going to talk about tonight. I had an entire topic. I even had some thoughts about it. I was really excited to talk about it. And then all of a sudden, I started thinking about Memorial Day, and then I started crying, and I said, no, I can't talk about that. I have to talk about this. So I want you to see, some of you are going to really disagree with what I'm saying, but I have to say it anyway. Memorial Day is a day when we honor those people who, to begin with, died in the military to support our freedom, right? Or at least that's the theory of it. And when I was born, it was at the end of 1945. Actually, it was in February of 1945, so it was the beginning. And rather, it was towards the end of the war in Europe. And we still had the war in the Pacific to go. And I felt very proud of the United States because we were part of the liberation of the concentration camps and the liberation of Western Europe. And we were fighting against the oppression of the Nazi regime, not against the German people, but of that regime and fascism. And I felt proud. But as I learned more about the war, I became more uneasy. Not about that, but about the fact that we were fighting racism against Jews and gypsies and homosexuals and so on in Europe, but we still had segregation among our own soldiers.
Mm-hmm.
And that did not make me proud.
Fair enough. By the way, we have several comments.
Oh.
Amy has said, perfect topic, Granny. Love you both. And she sent hearts.
Thank you, Amy.
And Jose says, hi, Mama. God bless you both. Jose from the Dominican Republic.
Thank you.
And Elizabeth says, hello there, and she sends love.
Hi, Elizabeth. So glad to see you. So, as the years passed, I became more and more aware of some of the corruption in our nation that I didn't even want to recognize. I didn't want to recognize the fact that the American government wasn't allowing Jews to immigrate into the United States even during the Holocaust. That did not make me proud. It didn't make me safe either, being of a Jewish background. And I began to see that there was so much yet to be done in the U.S. So the next big war to me, and of course there was the war in Korea, which is, I don't know what was going on with that war. But for me, the war was Vietnam. And that war did not make me proud. I am not saying that there weren't fine men and women who went into battle believing that they were doing something noble, but they weren't. They were defending colonialism. I mean, did that make you proud? And even before that, I was seeing the underbelly, the House Un-American Activities Committee, Senator McCarthy, who is attacking freedom, and how many people went along with that, and that did not make me proud. And then when they added under God to the Pledge of Allegiance, which I believed was an abrogation of the church and state. That did not make me proud. And then I discovered more and more the kind of prejudice and classism and racism in our nation, and that did not make me proud. And then there was the Cuban Revolution. Now, many of you have an idea about the Cuban Revolution, that it was all bad and that it was terrible. Well, I can understand that it was terrible for the people who lost everything and were disempowered. But the fact was that the United States was supporting the mafia in Cuba and class distinctions in Cuba, and that did not make me proud.
And a dictatorship.
And a dictatorship in Cuba. So for the people who were privileged by that system, of course they were very angry at Castro. And I'm not saying that Castro did everything right, but it did not make me proud to be backing up a dictatorship regime that was very corrupt. And it became more and more apparent to me as life went on. And then, of course, came the Vietnam War, where we came in to rescue colonialism, and we were going to be the new colonial power in the world. And that did not make me proud. No, I'm not speaking about the individual soldiers and people who were fighting who may have believed that they were doing the right things. And I regret how intolerant I was of the soldiers who went to war in Vietnam and sacrificed their lives for something that was so corrupt. And how much that corruption came out when we discovered more and more about that war. And it went across all the political parties. The Democrats, starting with John F. Kennedy, and then Lyndon Johnson, and
Richard Nixon.
Then Richard Nixon. And I was not proud. I was not proud. I was not proud of the consciousness of the powers that be that try to recruit people to support those powers that be. And I was not proud. And I was not proud of our nation when I saw the discrimination against gay people. And I was not proud of our nation when I realized how much oppression there was of women, even in our own country. And I wasn't proud. And we can fast forward through the ridiculous, pompous, arrogant attack on Iraq by George Bush. And that did not make me proud. Bombing people, trying to take over people. And then the war became the war in Iraq. And then the war became the war in Afghanistan. And and there was a war in Mozambique. And there was war and the Contras and
the Iran-Contra.
The Iran-Contra scandal.
Was it El Salvador Contras?
And so
Central America.
I was not proud because we were not fighting for freedom. It's like, yes, we're fighting for freedom. We're fighting for freedom when it's to our benefit. That's fighting for freedom. And now people are fighting for their freedom. The freedom to infect others. The freedom to do anything they darn please without any consideration of other people. And no, that does not make me proud. So many people dying for so little cause. And finally we have the President of the United States threatening North Carolina because North Carolina doesn't want to pack the convention center to make him look great, and he's willing to jeopardize the lives of all these people to get himself reelected or look like a big man. And by the way, in case you think that I am partisan, I am not. I am not proud of the Democratic Party. I wasn't proud of the Democratic Party in 2016 when they nominated Hillary Clinton. And I am certainly not proud of the Democratic Party that is nominating Joe Biden. Where is the passion for freedom? Where are the people who are really fighting the good fight for the well-being of workers? And I mean, I could have gone back to Jim Crow and lynching and all of the pain that we have fought to allow the corruption of our world. I am not proud. I am proud of the people who are fighting in the trenches of the coronavirus and are caring for others. I am proud of them. I am proud of those who are standing up to the nonsense. I am proud of those who are willing to tell the truth, even if it costs them. And that's the other side. Because, yes, I am also proud. I am proud of those who care enough about others to put their lives on the line. There are so many ways in which people are trying to help that are showing caring. And yes, in those moments, I am proud. Do we have any?
We have some more comments from people. Todd says hello.
Hello, Todd.
And he says, no, I am not proud of our country. No. Elizabeth says, I'm not proud either of our country. And she says, I'm not proud of humanity in general either.
That's right. It's not just our country. What a good point.
Yasin says hi from
Hello.
Indonesia. And that's it for now, for those.
Am I proud of myself? Tonight, I decided to do this program. I am proud of that. I know there are many people out there who will attack me for what I'm saying. And I am willing to lose your support. And that makes me proud.
Yeah.
I am still fighting for freedom. I am proud of the people who fought against apartheid. I am proud of the people who have fought against the caste system in India. I am proud of people who really care. I am proud that we have such wonderful people on this planet who are willing to fight the good fight for the right things. But there is so much pain, and there is so much self-centeredness. I am not proud of the people who are going out in public and are not caring about whether they are carrying the coronavirus because they just want to party, party, party. And I can have compassion.
Or do whatever they want.
Do whatever they want. I mean, I can have compassion for those people. I can try to understand how they feel. I can understand the people who are suffering from severe mental illness or are struggling to do the right thing despite all the pain that they are facing. And no, I am not proud. And I am not proud, as I said, about the Democrats for pushing Joe Biden, who is not showing any leadership, who don't want to care about whether or not he has actually molested women. That I don't even want to know. I'm not proud of that. I'm not proud of anybody who thinks that the path of least resistance is like, oh, let Donald Trump self-destruct and then Joe Biden will sit there and pick up the pieces, rather than supporting someone who has a vision and who really cares.
We have some additional comments.
Go ahead.
Yeah, Tracy says, I'm proud of those things you mentioned too, Granny. People caring.
Yes.
And Todd says, I agree with you on that, Granny. I am proud of you.
Oh,
I'm proud of you also.
thank you.
Anya says hello too. She's a little 8-year-old viewer. Tracy says, I am proud of Granny too.
Oh, thank you.
Yassine says, you are wise, and she sends love.
Thank you.
Thank you, Yassine.
Thank you. What makes us proud is that sense that someone has transcended their individual self-interest and has seen the bigger need. I'm proud of people who can transcend. And I am not so much critical of the people who can't manage for whatever reason. But I am proud of those who are fighting against their own fears to do the right thing.
We have a comment from Judith. I am very proud to be an American, not necessarily always proud of the actions that our country takes at times. I hate wars, most times don't understand them. I feel your passion on this subject. It shows on your face. But what a mess this whole world is in. Very proud of all the healthcare workers. What would we do without them?
Absolutely, Judy. Absolutely. So let us take this moment and feel our pride in the people who have fought against self-interest and oppression. The people in the Underground Railroad who rescued people from slavery. The people who have supported women's suffrage. The people who have supported gay and lesbian and trans rights. We have that in us. But too many of us are going along with the herd and are afraid to stand up for what we know is right. Those of us who give in to our racism, who give in to prejudice. When I was in graduate school, and that was a very long time ago, because I'm 75, right? I met a man who was the chairman of the Latin American History Department. And I discovered that he was Jewish, but he did not have a Jewish name. He could not find a way to be himself, to stand up for himself. He wanted to get ahead. I pity him. I pity anyone who sells themselves out for personal advantage. And I am proud for those who are still fighting the good fight, despite how difficult it sometimes seems. So let us take this moment to send our love and support to the veterans of the good fight, the fight for humanity, the fight for the farm workers, the fight for the workers in the grocery stores and in the meatpacking plants who are being compelled to do what they're being called upon to do. I am proud of the Americans who fought for the union movement and for the 8-hour day and for justice. I am proud of those people who have thrown off the shackles in their minds. That's America. And I am proud of my country. Even if there are people who are just few and far between, I am proud and I honor you for everything that you have done. You know, I remember seeing in the Indian nationalist movement those people fighting against the British Empire against all odds with nothing in their hands but their pride. And the black people who stood up to the water cannons and risked everything for freedom. They did not risk everything for their freedom. They risked everything for everyone's freedom. I am proud of people all around the world who have fought for caring, for love, for justice. It's not easy. These are not glib things. These are real things. We will be back Monday and Wednesday every week at 6:30 p.m. Pacific time for Granny Rocks. This Wednesday, I will again be inviting you to offer your questions. If the Buddha or Jesus or some guru was there, what would you ask? We will do this again. And I invite you to come with your questions and see what we can come up with. And let's never give up on believing in what is possible, even if the majority squashes us. And Thursday nights, we broadcast Dreams of Peace, where I play the piano. And I take a risk every Thursday night to sit down and improvise with no idea of what's going to come out. That takes courage, too. In my own little ways, I have courage. And we take a chance on losing our followers when we speak the truth. But we appeal to you to think about what I'm saying. And what difference does it make how many followers we have and how many likes and loves if we have sold out our very souls? Thank you.
God bless you, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye for now.